these guys have, boy, they've showed some incredible mental toughness and persevered through. I thought there was some championship DNA in there, the way they handled things when we were up 10, and then when we got down 2, I thought we made some big plays. Miles struggled early, and Jaron struggled early. I thought we had some good shots and just missed them. And you got to give Davis credit. I mean, and then the other guy banks in the 3. You start wondering if it's your day. But somehow, some way, we found a way with Winston really making some key plays, and then both Bridges and Jackson hit some big free throws down the stretch. It was a physical game. I give Guard a lot of credit. His team, they did an unbelievable job of, they're tough as nails, and those freshmen are going to be good players, and Hap's a heck of a player. He's hard to guard, and I thought the first half we missed some free throws and open shots. In the second half, I thought we made a lot of free throws, and that was maybe the difference in the game. So, questions?
Tom, you alluded to the plays that your team made. What was more impressive to you or important? The spurt after they took the 2-point lead with the 2 free throws, or hitting the free throws down the stretch to answer every thrust they gave?
Well, I have faith that Miles would make those free throws, but to put Jaron Jackson in that position to shoot 4 of them says a lot about Jaron, because he had some great 3 looks and he just missed them. And I think he was getting a little down. My team seemed a little discombobulated, if you want the truth. They did not seem mentally as into it. Physically they were trying to play hard, but we made some mental mistakes. Kenny Goins, we just made some plays that we haven't been making, and but I understand some of that. So probably anytime you hit free throws down the stretch, it matters. We had the 10-point lead. They came back. Give them credit. Davis made some incredible shots in that stretch, and that kid's a good player. Going to be a really good player down the next couple of years, and even down the stretch this year. Guard's done a good job with this team. They went through their injuries. They had to regroup, and if you look at the last 6-7 games, even in losses, they played awfully well. That's a credit to him and his young players.
Tom, regarding the statement yesterday about Miles being cleared to play, can you clarify what it means to be cleared by the NCAA right now? I think it's a little up in the air. Does that mean he did not? It's proven that he did not commit a violation, or is he simply cleared to play moving forward?
No, it was more unclear than the research that we did and the NCAA did, and I give both Jen Smith and our compliance department, and the fact that the NCAA moved on it quickly, and there are reasons that they did, and but they cleared him to play, or I wouldn't have played him. So he's cleared to play, and there was one major issue with the, I think, $400 that we and they have found to be completely not true as of what we know now.
Tom, I know you have a long-standing relationship with the Dawkins family. Can you characterize your relationship with Christian and what you're doing with him over
guys, I'll answer a question or two, but I just had a chance to win a championship, and I'm not going to answer many questions. I do have a long relationship with his dad, and this was done. I was not involved in this thing at all. This was our compliance people in the NCAA, and I thought they ruled quickly. Miles Bridges was not involved in this at all, and so this isn't going to be the time when I'm going to answer a lot of questions. I know that's important to you. It's really not to me. We just won a championship, and I'm going to try to stick to questions like that. I'll do the best I can, and understanding that you have the rights and the ability to ask. I hope you appreciate that I have the right and the ability to not answer questions that some of them I don't even know about.
Tom, back to basketball. Can you talk about Cassius's performance and his maturation over the season, please?
Cassius Winston, I think from Christmas on has been as good a player as we have. He's made plays. He's improved his defense, as I constantly said. He's changed his turnovers. Give him a lot of credit. He's been more of a coach on the floor. He's been better in practice. I mean, I say he's been all those things. Sounds like he was nothing. It's part of the process of growing up, going from a freshman to a sophomore, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. And the deep three that he hit and a couple of passes he made late were a big difference in the game.
Tom, can you, over here, it's been a while since you won the outright championship, and even the shared championship, and so with all the emotions going on with that, everything off the court, is it hard to kind of, to think about what you're feeling right now, or how does this feel different than maybe other ones, or?
Yeah, it is. If you want the truth, it's a little harder. It's been kind of an incredible month or 5 weeks, and you know, and I hope things will work out so that we'll see how that goes. But the emotion in the locker room was still one of great happiness and joy. It just, I think we're a little mentally worn down from all the things they've been through. But that's a happy locker room, and that's well deserving for those kids for what they've done. They've, as I said, taught me as much as I've taught them, and handling the adversity they've handled, I think is going to make them better men for the next 60 years.
Tom, you kind of alluded to it earlier this morning about just the practices the last few days, how tough and difficult they were. I guess walk us through when you found out how things went with Miles, and how did you see that affect him today?
Well, I addressed my team and my staff on Friday, not thinking or not knowing, but thinking that there's a good chance or a chance that he would not play. I wanted to tell him on Friday, so I didn't tell him Saturday, and then they didn't have any time to adjust. So I told him Friday that this could be the way it is, that we got to prepare both ways. And so as you can imagine, those guys, they don't like Miles, they love Miles. And the practices weren't great. And with about 20 minutes left of yesterday's practice, we got word that he was eligible to play, and along with, there's been more than just him that have been eligible to play, and you know, it definitely helped the last 20 minutes of practice, but it was a difficult 2 days, there's no question. Dan?
Yeah, can you explain, so you said there are some reasons, some specific reasons why that $400 is something you're confident didn't happen?
I can't explain it because I didn't investigate it, but our people investigated it, their people investigated it, and you know, I wasn't involved in it in any way. I did something I haven't done very much in the last month. I tried to just coach my team and watch film, and this one was completely out of my hands. So I thought our compliance people at the university and everybody there did their job. They were working till 11 o'clock at night, and I thought the people at the NCAA did their job, and there's no hall passes in this, you know, so it was probably for a good reason.
Because of that, are you confident that he'll be clear the rest of the way?
I am in every way, shape, and form, but, you know, again, I don't have any clue on anything. I haven't had time. I found out about an hour before we left, so I really haven't talked to anybody there, but I don't think they do those things unless they've vetted it pretty good. So as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, I have no reason to believe any member of my staff, student athletes here have violated any NCAA rules.
Straight ahead, it seemed like while Khalil Iverson was guarding Miles Bridges, that was when he really struggled, and as soon as Iverson switched on to Winston, Bridges started to get going. What did you see from Iverson defensively while he was on Miles?
Oh, there's no question Iverson's a phenomenal athlete, and probably one of the, not only as good an athlete as in this league, but he's got some toughness. See Barry back there, he'd be a hell of a football player, maybe a hell of a free safety, you know. He's physical, he's tough, and he's very athletic. So, you know, they were moving him on different people, which I thought was another brilliant move by guard. You know, when they moved him on to Winston, that was probably a good move since Winston was kind of running our show. I thought that was a brilliant move on his part.
Tom, a couple questions. One, how has Miles handled this? Like when you talked to him, what were those conversations like? What was his initial reaction?
Well, Miles was sad because he knew nothing about it. I mean, if you read the situation that happened back when he was in high school, and you know, he just was bummed out, but he handled it like a man. He handled it better than I did, and I think that's why. And yet, you know, you can fake it. We can all fake how we feel. Deep down, it had to be crushing for him, and I just think our players rallied around him, our coaches tried to rally around him, and give Miles credit. He hung in there.
One other thing on Cassius. playing, I think, 38 minutes today, the most I think he's played, and the way he didn't seem to tire late. That's something I know you've been concerned with him earlier. Did he show you something in terms of sustainability of game today that you haven't seen from him before?
Well, he did, and yet, you know, it was one of those games where it's easier to do that because Wisconsin doesn't run a lot, so it wasn't like it was up and down, everybody pressing everybody like Illinois. And I think that helped, but I think Cassius has improved enormously, and I'm proud of him because, you know, like every coach goes through, you push a player, sometimes people don't like the way you push them, but if they believe in you and you believe in him, they get better, you get better, the team gets better, and that's exactly what's happened with Cassius Winston, and in all honesty, our basketball team.
Do one final one from Brendan.
Tom, it's obviously just it's confusing because the NCAA is obviously in line behind the FBI when it comes to these investigations or whatever you want to call them. Curious, from your understanding, has the NCAA told your compliance staff that this matter is over with, or that it could be revisited later when it becomes an NCAA investigation, or if it's done?
I can't honestly answer that, but I don't think that they work that way, you know, like we'll put it off a week, and I don't think that's the way it was at all. I think it's over. But you'd have to ask our compliance people or the NCAA, and I really can't give you an honest answer. I didn't talk to them, and I really didn't talk to my compliance officer much after I got the word in practice, you know, an hour before we were leaving, that it's a go. I mean, you know, it's not Miles Bridges, by the way, it wasn't the only guy that played. You know, there were a lot of guys that played. And I think that we have a unique situation, one that's unprecedented in recent years, at least in my era. And I appreciate that the NCAA took the time and energy, because they must have worked all night too, to go over everything and come up with this kind of